After many attempts, we are finally talking about this. The deep state will shut us down no longer. You see, Candace Owens was actually, personally, very good friends with Charlie Kirk. They went bowling together and stuff like that. Like, they were actually friends. Which means, I imagine some of you who are aware of this fact were immediately flocking to Candace Owens to see her reaction to Charlie Kirk's death as soon as you found out the news. Because they were very publicly, very, like, openly good friends. On and off, like, the internet platform that they exist on. But I don't think a lot of people expected her to go in the direction that she has been going. For a little background, Candace Owens is maybe the most notorious and most obvious grifter on the right. And she wasn't a grifter, or she's not just a grifter because she's on the right. She's always been a grifter looking for a quick buck and using whatever politics that she disingenuously identifies with at any given time in order to, I guess, sucker people in, to, like, get their attention, and then she gets them involved in some kind of grift, right? She did this originally when she was a left-winger with Social Autopsy, the woke anti-bullying website centered around doxing people who say slurs online. She got so much hate and rage clicks and negative attention from the right for that, she realized that the right has a much larger presence online and switched over. Now she's one of the most important known figures within the right-wing sphere. All of her streams lately have been pulling over 3 million, no less. The floor is 1 million views. The floor for her streams is 1 million views lately. And her most recent one just finished 3 hours ago. It has 1 million views, and it's called They Are Lying About Tyler Robinson. You see, ever since Charlie Kirk's death, she has been going hard on the claims that something is off, that the official story can't be true. I gotta admit, there's some parts of the official story that I'm having a hard time believing, to say the least. Notably, as a guy who likes his guns and likes watching lots of video clips of guns doing what guns do, the claim that a .30-06 hit Charlie Kirk in the neck and got stopped just under the skin, as TPUSA claimed his surgeon said? No. Not in 1 million trillion years. Now, to be very clear, for the somewhat less ballistically inclined individuals around, I'm very aware that bullets do funny things inside of the bodies they come into contact with. Not when they are going this fast, not when they are that heavy, and they are meant to penetrate in such a manner. That part of the story, having a hard time believing it. But as far as I'm aware, the FBI has only tacitly endorsed TPUSA's claims in this respect. I don't know if we've gotten a full official statement on the, I guess, state of his body post the shooting. I will say there's been a lot of misinformation flying around. I saw a lot of people claiming Charlie Kirk was shot when he had a vest on. Erica Kirk has confirmed he wore no ballistic vest. Google it if you don't believe me. I think it's important that with information like this, if you hear it being said and it turns out not to be true, you gotta be careful about the sources you're getting the info from. Like, as assuming those sources are not correcting themselves and doing their due diligence, you gotta be careful about that stuff. Yeah, I don't believe the Man of Steel stuff, but Candace Owens is on a whole different thing here. I don't know if you guys have seen it. She's basically claiming that Israel's behind it. I've watched a bit of her first 2 podcasts about this topic, but she is going hard on the claims that this was Israel. Granted, she has been making a lot of money and getting a lot of hype lately off of anti-Israel stuff from a, far-right populist perspective rather than like a humanitarian, holy shit, stop killing Palestinians perspective. I think she still does, like, weaponized sympathy for Palestinians, but not in a very, like, genuine way. She's making a shitload of money off of this, and considering that this guy was her literal friend, it's like, have you ever seen a more obvious grift? How could she not be on this 24/7 after this popped off as hard as it did? Like, this is her bread and butter for, like, the next month or two, easily. Easily. This is her bread and butter for the next month or two. Good lord, man. I like how even with this viewership, though, she's down by 35% over 7 days with 27 million views. Holy shit. Guys, I'm not jealous, I promise. Anyway, let's check out what she's saying most recently. They're lying about Tyler Robinson. This is an interesting one, because from everything that I've seen of Tyler Robinson, the most we really have to pull from in regards to really anything to do with him is he hasn't denied killing Charlie Kirk as far as I know. In fact, he confessed to his to a family friend, I believe, or I think he confessed to his parents when his parents confronted him. So he hasn't denied that he did it. People have claimed the texts aren't real, but everybody's who's claiming the texts between him and his girlfriend aren't real are also claiming they were generated with AI, because they put it into an AI program that decides whether or not something was made with AI, and they trust that, even though those programs are notoriously flawed. And also, I'm going to be honest, the idea that the FBI is AI generating fake texts in order to, like, slander the left sounds like a headline written up by a conservative specifically to rage bait leftists and liberals. Like, what do leftists hate the most? They hate fascism, but what else do they hate? The FBI. Okay, what else do they hate? AI. You know, it's like, okay, dude. Okay, come on. Tone it down. I don't believe all that, but I do think there's some fishy stuff going on. And the idea that they're lying about what he was shot with, potentially, or at least lying about what he was shot with and what it did to his body, definitely seems likely that there could be some fishy stuff going around with the shooter. I'm definitely not opposed to believing it if there's evidence for it. So let's see what Candace Owens is bringing to the table.
All right, you guys, happy Monday, and get ready because we are going
Oh my god, it's so laggy.
A journey.
Whoa.
I left you guys on the ultimate.
Okay, you guys saw in real time the shit I'm having to deal with from YouTube lately. Whenever you hear me say, fuck you, YouTube, it's because some shit like that is happening. Okay. Surely we can trust Candace Owens as a source of information here. She's got 1 million views. That must mean she's telling the truth, right? So, let's hear it. Let's find out what's going on. Also, we're gonna speed it up a little bit. I saw people playing clips of this video, by the way, or clips of this podcast episode, posting it on Twitter, and captioning it, "That's enough Candace Owens for today," because apparently she gets really weird in this one. You'll see what I mean if we end up finding that particular clip that's floating around in my mind right now.
Cliffhanger last week. I did not intend to, by the way. I genuinely wanted to get the information out as soon as possible that Tyler Robinson is not suicidal. And I'm going to tell you how I know that. Also, while investigating this assassination, there is a politician's name that keeps coming up. And now he's apparently mad that we keep asking questions. I'm beginning to think that he might know something that he hasn't yet shared. So I wanted to kind of loop you guys into this and see what you think. Welcome back.
What politician could she be talking about? Is she actually going to criticize Trump? All right. First, she had my attention. But now, she has my full attention. Okay. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far on YouTube, by the way, hit that like button and leave a comment. It really does help a lot. And I guess hype the video too, because that's a feature that exists. You know, see if we can get a couple dozen hypes. That would be cool. Anyway, let's get right into it. I appreciate you.
Back to Candace.
Is this her intro? I've never seen her intro sequence. It's like the
Jeffrey
intro to a
Epstein
Lifetime
didn't kill
movie.
himself. Tyler Robinson didn't kill himself. I mean, these are the phrases that we now use and that we say when we expect that the federal government is telling us a lie. Last week, I have to tell you, I was contacted by a
Well, Tyler Robinson's alive, as far as I'm aware. Okay, let's hear it.
Who I vetted with information that answered a lot of the lingering questions that we've had about the investigation. Not all of them, but some of them, some of the big ones. First and foremost, we were like, how exactly did it work? How did Tyler Robinson turn himself in, as we were told, but also never confessed? And did he...
He confessed to his parents, right? Like, the story, as far as I'm aware, is that his parents saw the video on the news of the shooter escaping from the rooftop, thought it looked like his son. The family friend, I think from the church, was talking to the dad, like, does that look like your son? And the dad was like, yeah, it does. And when a father thinks someone might be his own flesh and blood, the fact that he feels like it is a pretty strong piece of evidence that it might actually be the case. And clearly, it stuck with him enough that when he confronted his son, he confessed to his parents. So while there was no official legal confession as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty certain, as far as the official story claims, there's no fishiness in the logic, because he confessed to his parents, which led to the police being called, and that's when they picked him up. But he never made a legal confession, meaning that he would have, like, had to write or say, probably both, a confession on paper or in audio video form that could be used in court in order to go for a guilty plea, a confession, and a guilty plea for some kind of maybe deal or something like that. Like, he didn't do any of that, but he confessed to his parents and got the cops called.
Actually author those absurd Fed messages, because I'm thinking no. Lastly, what was he doing at Dairy Queen doesn't really quite fit into our timeline. Also, don't expect this kid who just tried out being a stone cold killer to really have an appetite. And why exactly did the feds withhold that information at Dairy Queen, and why are they allegedly stalking?
Okay, alright, I see. This content is made for the type of if you're going to make conspiracy content and get millions of views, it can't really operate on a level of critical thinking that the majority of the population lacks. So we're actually just going to be making our arguments based off of, don't you think that a guy who's just killed someone for the first time wouldn't have an appetite? So why would he go to a Dairy Queen? Meanwhile, I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but who do we all remember snitched on Luigi? It was some old bitch McDonald's employee who called the cops and snitched on on the guy who we do not endorse in any way whatsoever, and he is not our guy. It's like Luigi went to McDonald's afterwards. Like, it seems pretty likely, in fact, that if you've just got a bunch of cash on you and you're, like, out of state, on the run, mid-crime, you might stop for some fast food, because you're gonna have to put some food in your body, whether you like it or not. That logic just kind of follows for me if we're just gonna use common sense.
The Dairy Queen to see who
Sorry
comes
for
in
pausing
and out.
so much.
Well, we have the story that could potentially answer all of those questions, and it certainly makes a lot more sense than the slop that the government is currently trying to feed us. First and foremost, Tyler Robinson has never confessed. They acknowledge that he has never confessed to this crime, and he still is pleading innocence on the shooting. In fact, I was told that he was, quote unquote, bewildered by the idea that he carved casings. I should be clear, he does not dispute the fact that it is his gun at all. It is his gun. But Tyler is not exactly...
It's his grandpa's gun.
...a gun enthusiast. He doesn't...
Like, she's getting facts of the case wrong, like, left and right already. Like, just, like, incessantly. Mind you, the gun's serial number is connected to his grandfather's identity. This is not, like, a controversial thing.
Hunt like his other brothers do. In fact, he's apparently a fisherman. The reason that he has that gun in the first place...
Shame on you, Zan. You're a bad React YouTuber. You don't show... you don't know you're just supposed to silently make faces. Dude, I actually am, and I'm not joking. I had, like, a wave of hate comments the other day from people angry I was pausing and talking too much, and they said, just let the video fucking play, and then followed up by saying, I'm gonna have to go watch the original video because you keep pausing. Mind you, the original video was a conservative, like, propaganda video I was responding to, so I was like, see... Did you just want to watch a conservative propaganda video? Why would you watch a lefty respond to it if you just wanted to see the video? Like, it's so bizarre, but there are a lot of people like that just want you to sit there and silently, I guess, make faces. I've gotten those comments.
This is because it is, in fact, a custom-made family heirloom. Tyler is the firstborn son, so he inherited. That's what firstborn...
Okay, we're continuing to get things wrong. She's just getting... thing after thing wrong. It was not a custom-made family heirloom. It was a standardized hunting rifle that had been customized by its owners, something that, like, every gun owner does. Like, does this mean that if I take the slide off my Glock and replace it with some aftermarket, like, ventilated slide that lets you see through the holes to the barrel, like, does that mean I've turned it into a custom-made family heirloom or something? Because... no, it was just the grandpa's hunting rifle he's put some work into over the years. It wasn't a... like, she's... I will nitpick when it comes to gun stuff. If she claims to be a conservative pro-2A type and she's talking about a highly recognizable case to millions of people and she's getting fundamental details wrong with her wishy-washy language, I'm gonna call it out. Like, this is immensely irresponsible. Then again, maybe it's not. I wish she would actually say the Trump administration, not the government, when referencing the federal government and these federal agencies not being trustworthy, but well, you take what you get.
They get the family heirloom. That is why he has the gun. As many of you guys have noted, the Robinson family appear to be conservative, hence the hunting and the fishing as the sports of their choosing. I am told that they are fans of Charlie Kirk and they are fans of Donald Trump, although this source noted that Tyler, like many other conservatives have expressed, wished that Trump would sometimes tone down his speech and his rhetoric. Now, on the topic of rhetoric, I am told that Tyler absolutely did not author those text messages. What text messages? He has no idea where these messages came from.
Okay. So many of the people denying the the validity of these text messages really suss me out because they're calling them text messages. They aren't text messages, they were Discord messages. Mind you, Discord is a private company that can literally, in a heartbeat, send moderators into your private chat, like into your private DMs with any user, and see everything you've ever said. There are a lot of TOS things you can say in private messages that if you report it, you get the other account banned. Discord moderation has access to every single log, and it's not the kind of thing that can be faked. And if the federal government is coming out claiming this shit is fake, not only is it easy to falsify independently, but the company itself could come out and say it's bullshit. And people were trying to claim that. Lots of people kept saying, Discord claimed it was fake. Discord claimed it was fake. That's not true. Literally, look it up. There is no actual official source from Discord claiming that these logs between the roommate and Tyler Robinson are fake. Zan, right? Like, damn it, there is a difference. Text messages are handled by cellular providers. Discord messages are handled by internet providers. Not even quite. Discord is like, claiming that they were faked Discord messages is like claiming they were faked Twitter or Instagram messages. When, like, the platform could just come out and say, oh yeah, they're real. We know because, like, our moderators can just go see that live chat to check. You know, like, we have access to that on the back end. And we know that, you know, this conversation happened, and it happened on that date between these users. They would have called it out by now, or something internally from Discord would have leaked if they knew these texts weren't real.
Believes that they are therefore entirely...
Discord messages.
...fictionalized. It turns out, you're going to be shocked, that he doesn't actually use words like vehicle, which should come as no surprise.
Okay, I love this claim. I love this claim so much. It's my favorite nonsense, like, boomers not understanding Gen Z claim ever. The idea that a Gen Z male would never, ever say vehicle. I default to the word vehicle, and do you want to know why? Because as a Gen Z guy, I grew up playing games like DayZ, Arma, Battlefield, and in dozens of other survival games and just video games in general, where, like, there's 1,000 different names for 1,000 different types of vehicle, so you just call them vehicles. When you go to the traders to get a car in DayZ, you go to the vehicle traders. When you're looking to find a vehicle in DayZ, you don't say I'm looking for a car, generally. You don't say I'm looking for a truck or get specific. You say I'm looking for a vehicle. Gamers say vehicle all the fucking time. It is like easily in the top 500 words gamers say while gaming on a daily basis. This guy, allegedly, wrote a reference to Helldivers on his bullet casings. The idea that bro might have liked some, like, milsim games like Arma, or might have enjoyed some survival games like Rust or DayZ, where absolutely the average Gen Zer would say, let's find a vehicle to ride around in, that lexicon would absolutely be in their vocabulary. Easily. The claim that Gen Z males don't say vehicle, especially Gen Z males who are Mormon from Utah, who grew up hunting and shit, that guy wouldn't say my vehicle. Like, you know, if that guy ever got threatened, his response would be, "You stay away from me and my vehicle." That's what you say. What is this? What is this nonsense logic? I cannot believe people are actually saying this with a straight face.
Anyone that has a brain. By the way, I'm sure you caught this, but there's old footage of Tyler Robinson that is now circulating from a car accident that he had. And during the discussion with the officer that showed up, Tyler certainly refers to it as his car, not his vehicle, because...
Holy shit. She's proven it. Oh my god. He would never call his car his vehicle, because after a car accident, he said, "I crashed my car," instead of "I crashed my vehicle." There you go, man. Absolutely, undeniably proven.
That's how most Americans, how most English speakers refer to a car, unless they're in the military or on the police force. So here is 2022 police.
He literally made a reference to Helldivers. We Gen Zers, especially Gen Z white dudes, we from the South or from rural areas, we love our milsim games. I started using vehicle as my default for anything with wheels that moves once I was like 12 and played DayZ the first time, bro.
Body cam footage, in case you missed that, of Tyler making a crash report. Take a listen.
Your mom's on her way?
Yeah, she's gonna be a minute. She's gotta shuttle
Oh,
over
damn.
where she's at to her car and then drive over.
Gotcha.
His mother was gonna shuttle over from her car? Interesting. There's more, of course. Of most interest to me, what I've learned is that his father does not believe, his parents don't believe that their son committed this crime. I was like, huh?
That sounds hard to believe, considering they called the police on him, confronted him, and he confessed. Like, what is the allegation here? That the FBI made up a statement from the family, and now the family is contradicting that claim? Is this substantial? I'm gonna guess we're not gonna see any kind of, like, clip of the family. I would like to see it. Let's find out.
Excuse me? That's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. The father realized his son was guilty, so it goes, right? And then he...
Well, the father was talking to his buddy, and they saw the news, and they saw the footage on the news, and the buddy was like, "Dave?" I'm just gonna call him Dave. "Dave, that looks like your son. Is that your son?" And he was like, "It really does look like my son. I feel like it could be." They confronted him, and he confessed. That's the story, as per the FBI and the quote-unquote media. Like, this populist language is genuine brain rot. Like, this is cancer. I need you guys to know, like, the way any content creator or pundit who engages in politics this way, most of them will be massive. They will have massive amounts of reach. Do not let that fool you into thinking they have anything of value to say. They are genuinely the lowest common denominator in their logic, in their rhetoric, in their beliefs, and they have to be. That's the only way you can appeal to such wide numbers like Candace Owens does. Like, there's no ideas here that are even, like, I don't need to think complex, in any kind of a complex way to debunk these ideas. Like, she hasn't substantiated a single thing so far. We're just meant to trust her because, as she said before, a trustworthy source reached out to her behind the scenes. Okay. Literally, her source is, it came to her in a dream, pretty much.
Phoned over a friend to help him convince his son to turn himself in, because this guy, you know, this mysterious guy was a friend and just had a connection with Tyler. And eventually they said, "You gotta do the right thing here. We know this is you." That was the vibe. Certainly that's what the media was putting down for us to pick up. Well, I was told actually that it was kind of...
The vibe? Or do you mean the literal official story?
The opposite. That quote-unquote family friend, who we learned was a former detective with the police force, at least, and so therefore has strong ties with the police station, informed the family. It was that in-between person that informed the family that Tyler...
This friend that I mentioned like 3 times already was also a friend of theirs from church. They were literally at church, the dad and the friend, when they were talking about the news story of Charlie Kirk's assassination and discussing the, like, the footage that had come out of the shooter and how he looked like Tyler Robinson. And that's what led to all that.
Had been identified as the shooter. He recognized him. He knows Tyler. He gives them the heads up. And then I'm told, and I believe this, that the way in which he got arrested, or rather turned himself...
She's getting so many details. Like, like, low-key unimportant, but, like, it's insane how many details of this she's getting wrong. She might actually just be off-the-cuffing this and giving no fucks. It is absurd how many people are taking this seriously right now. I've heard friends of mine who are generally, like, left-leaning falling for her grift on this. Like, this grift is so effective. I will probably get a wave of hate comments on this video from my own audience, because Candace Owens is saying what the left wants to hear her say, too. Like, this grift works on the left as well. And if you don't believe me, wait until this comes out as a video and read the comments.
In was because that family friend slash neighbor slash former detective told him, hey, it's best for you to turn yourself in because there's only one of two options here. Either you turn yourself in and everything is peaceable, or, you know, the SWAT team could come in here and arrest you and things would get crazy. So that's what happened. He went over to their house. Tyler was called over. Tyler was bewildered. He disputed the idea that he had murdered Charlie Kirk. In fact, according to my source, Tyler has never even stepped foot on UVU campus. Tyler, it turns out, which has already been revealed, was accepted into Utah State University, not Utah Valley. And that's actually interesting if you pause and reflect on that.
Why would it be interesting at all? Like, why would that be relevant in any way? I'm curious to find out.
Because we didn't really consider how on earth Tyler became not just familiar with the layout of the campus, but familiar with the rooftop.
Candace, you gotta stop making it so easy. Like, what are these softballs you're hitting me with today? Like, dog, how could he have possibly, if he hadn't gone to the school, how could he possibly become familiar with the rooftops of the school? It's simply not possible. What technology, short of what the NSA or whatever has, could anyone possibly use to become familiar with the layout of this college campus, and particularly the rooftops, and where one would have a particularly good vantage point at any given location? There is no technology that exists that would allow for Tyler Robinson to have known the layout of the school and where the rooftops were and how to access them. There is simply no technology available to the average Gen Z white teenager with access to the internet and a computer. It's not a thing. Like, you guys are seeing what I'm trying to get across to you guys, right? Like, Candace Owens' brain rot conspiracy shit is so easy to debunk, and that sounds like it should make her claims weak, but it makes them strong, because she's filtering for, like, the dumbest and or most cognitively dissonant people who want what she is saying to be true and are not looking at it in any way critically. Or even if they can look at it critically, they lack the critical thinking skills to be able to even think for a second, wait, couldn't he have just used Google Maps? Like, that feels like a real reach to try and contradict the story when, like, anybody could just boot up Google Maps. And Charlie Kirk's events are always public and always hyped up and advertised weeks ahead of time. So he would have had weeks to sit in Google Maps planning out exactly how he wanted to do it. Pretty basic stuff here, Candace. You gotta stop throwing these softballs at me.
Layout of UVU campus. So familiar that he knew exactly how to scale across the rooftops to duck down in order to take an almost impossible shot at a Charlie Kirk who was sitting beneath a tent.
An almost impossible shot. Candace, I will literally pay for us to go to the range together, and we will shoot a ballistic dummy from, like, the top of a cliff that is like 150 yards down at the bottom of that cliff, and we'll put it under a rock overhang, okay? I promise you, it is not an impossible shot. A 150-yard shot from high ground is not an impossible shot. Not in a million years with a high-powered scoped hunting rifle is that an impossible shot. Has Candace ever shot a gun before? Hold on, guys. No shot. No way, bro. She's not. No, she's joking. Candace.
military leads that I
Candace
have, people that were on the ground
Owens
that day who I've confirmed were in the military.
gun.
Anyways, then something
Sorry, the
insane
second
happened.
you start typing in a new tab, YouTube opens up a window and starts playing the video. Wait, has Candace never shot a gun before? No way! No way! There's no record of her on anywhere on the internet having ever fired or even held a gun. That's crazy! Oh my god, Candace Owens is totally secretly a liberal. Oh my god. She's never even, like, posed with a rifle. She's never even done, like, the Lauren Southern or, Blair White thing where you pose with an AR. Holy shit, bro. She actually doesn't know enough about guns to know that a high-power scoped rifle at 150 yards is like the equivalent of like point blanking someone with a pistol. Like it's genuinely what the gun is made to do. It is exactly the type of range it excels at. Unbelievable.
How did he know how to do all of that? Had he been there before?
Hunting? Like immense amounts of hunting? Like, his social media is full of hunting photos? It was his grandpa's gun? Although, you got that info wrong and claimed it was his gun? So, you think he wouldn't know how to use his gun?
That he knew where Charlie...
Wait, does Candace think that you have to be, like, an action hero? Or, like, have military training to shoot guns competently? Or with any level of accuracy? Because I taught my mom to shoot guns. And that day, she was making some pretty tight groupings, that same day. Her groupings have never been wider than, like, 6 inches diameter. Like, ever since I taught her how to shoot. And she, like, started on her first day. Like, shooting is not that hard, okay? If she's actually done it before, she would not be talking about it like you have to be some kind of MI6 super soldier to pull off a 150-yard scoped high-power hunting rifle shot. It's like, no. Maybe she's bad at it? Maybe.
Was going to be sitting in it, that he would have that shot from on top of the Losey Center.
I think she's a liberal who's too scared of guns to even pretend like she's, like, into it. No,
What?
Totu fallacies.
Right? I would actually, and I don't know, but I would imagine that even actual current UVU students don't know that possibility. Like, they're not even that familiar with how to scale the rooftops and what shots they can take from it.
We're getting a lot of really great pause faces. I'm not gonna lie. This is a really good one. I'm gonna have a hard time picking which one of these faces to use for the thumbnail later. She's very expressive.
We'll see. Curiously, however, my source says that Tyler Robinson was nearby the campus on that day. I'm wondering if that fact, which I'm trying to learn more information regarding, explains the Dairy Queen photo. Because what was he doing around the campus on that day? Where exactly was he?
He looks like he's looking up at his screen right now. I'm not gonna lie, he looks like he's looking up at a screen, watching the news reports about Charlie Kirk getting shot. I'm not the only one who thinks that's what he's looking at, right? Like, he's looking up. And it looks like he's looking up at a screen, mounted up on the wall, playing the news. Also, is that Germa?
Around the campus on that day. This photo never made any sense. When I plugged it into my timeline, it wasn't fitting in. So,
How so?
If you're wondering why...
I would question that logic, considering Candace Owens has been, like, really embarrassingly wrong on every claim she's made so far.
Exactly, Tyler would agree to go to the police station if he's not guilty. Ironically, the police were honest that day on one of the points. Well, first and foremost, that point is Tyler is not suicidal. He wanted to go to the police station so that he didn't risk accidentally getting shot by the police swarming his home, as I said earlier, in a theatrical arrest setting. But rather...
Okay, so we're alleging, like, they're going to kill him even though the police have come out to say that Tyler Robinson is not suicidal? Okay, cool. Like, we're trying to lampshade that fact while somehow still making it look suspicious?
Confusingly, Nate Brooksby, tells us that Tyler is suicidal. Whatever, let's just take a listen to what Nate Brooksby said after he had been apprehended. Take a listen.
So I get a call from my friend, and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" "Good." And it's not, he's been retired a few years. We'll call each other. It's not unusual for me to get a call from him or vice versa. And at 8:02 p.m. he calls me. Hey, I can tell his voice is kind of shaky. So my first thought is, who died? Like who's he going to tell me that died? And then I couldn't fathom what actually came out of his mouth. So he said, "Hey, I know who Charlie Kirk shooter is. I know the family through religious association." And
what he's referencing there, which I doubt Candace Owens will mention, you can tell she's acting surprised, like she hasn't followed this story and doesn't know what he's referencing. The family friend that led to the arrest of Tyler Robinson was ex-police, but that had nothing to do with it. He was a church friend, and him and Tyler Robinson's dad were just talking about the news after church. And one thing led to another, and they figured out, maybe we should ask Tyler about this. He does look like the kid in that video.
He's in Washington County now, and we're working.
Where was Tyler that day? He was gone, like, for an oddly long time with no explanation. You're right. Yeah, we should confront him on that. I don't know, makes sense to me.
On trying to get him to come in voluntarily. During that phone call, some information was provided about Tyler.
Okay, let me just tell you something, guys. If I just disappeared one day for like a whole day, like my family's contacting me, and I just don't respond at all, and I'm just gone, I'm not at home, and I don't come back for like a whole ass day, and while I'm gone, the news cycle explodes about how some prominent person I hate had been assassinated, I think the logic would be... I think there are not that many, like, leaps in logic you need to make to be like, did you just go out of town and assassinate somebody? Like, I feel like anybody would be able to figure that out. Kind of makes sense that Tyler got, figured out by his own parents.
Potentially having some suicidal ideations, was en route to a remote area of Washington County. The parents convinced him not to do that, and conveyed that they would stand by him and help him surrender peacefully.
I'm told that's not true. Tyler was not suicidal at all. He was just confused and didn't want to get shot. And then he gets to that part, right? He then tells us, Brooksby, that he came in willingly because he didn't want to die. Let's take a listen to that portion.
Well, him being in, like, holding and, like, freaking out, and I don't know if he's saying he's suicidal, but, like, kind of depressive makes sense. I mean, a 22 years old? I'm gonna be honest. I'd be surprised if Tyler Robinson doesn't try to kill himself. I would be really surprised. He is a 22-year-old who's just thrown his entire life away and might get the death penalty. In a situation like that, that is exactly when you expect a prisoner to try and take his own life into his own hands and make his death on his terms. Like, I would be astonished if Tyler Robinson does not attempt suicide. Like, he would be he should be on suicide watch. He should be. Because he is at extremely high risk just because of the situation. 22-year-old thrown away his life, death row ahead of him possibly. Yeah, he might go for it.
Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives. So that was part of the deal. Is Tyler knew it was just inevitable with all the law enforcement pressure that his picture in the news, the gun on the news. He knew it was inevitable that he would be caught. He was fearful of a SWAT team hit on his house, or he was fearful of being shot by law enforcement. So part of the negotiation and getting him to bring himself in was that we would treat it as delicate and as soft as possible to make him feel comfortable.
Nothing's been contradicted here. He just, he literally just restated that Tyler Robinson was worried about getting, shot or attacked or hurt by the police and turned himself in once he confessed to his parents.
To where he would show up at my office, and that's exactly what happened.
It can't be both. It can't be both. Was he suicidal and wanting to die, or was he worried about dying? It can't be both, and I didn't catch on to that early on.
It can actually be both. I hot fucking take, apparently, according to Candace Owens, but suicidal people are afraid of dying all the time. all the fucking time. I know it sounds silly, like, oh, but someone who's suicidal wants to die. How could they be afraid of dying or getting shot by a cop? Or yada, yada. That's not how suicidality works, okay? That's not how someone having a mental break when they think their life is over and opting for suicide to get out of that works. Because that's not even the same as depressive suicide. Like, she really is just confidently saying shit. That's it. Like, just confidently saying shit. She has yet to cite a single claim.
The answer was he came in because he is not suicidal and did not want to get shot and was confused, as I am told. Now, you're probably wondering why the father and the mother didn't speak out to assert his innocence. That would make sense, right? Why don't you come right out and dispute everything immediately? Well, interestingly enough...
Apparently because they didn't feel the need to dispute it because he confessed to them, and the media would be, like, all over them in a heartbeat if they wanted to come forward and make a statement. You know they would be. So you know for a fact the media is not, like, silencing the parents, because anything the parents have to say would draw in immense amounts of attention and ratings, which is the whole point of these, like, networks existing, is to make money off of ratings, so... Anyway.
I'm told that it's because the feds told them that if they spoke out, their lives could be at risk. Like, they needed to keep things private, and they convinced the family to go into witness protection.
I doubt it, TBH. No. Tyler Robinson thought he could get away with it. He totally thought he could get away with it. At least, like, the the Discord messages indicate that he'd planned it out and thought he could get away with it. Though he does lament that he hid the gun instead of taking it with him. Because the cops were all over the scene where his gun was stashed within an hour. But yeah, like, he believed he could do it and get out of there and not have it traced back to him. He was pretty confident he'd get away with it. I assume he felt like he learned from Luigi Mangione's mistakes, but he went to a fucking Dairy Queen, so clearly not.
Like, your lives are in danger. You shouldn't say anything. Somebody could, like, you know, just come back and try to harm you guys because of what your son did. You should go into witness protection. Don't speak to anybody. Trust us. We're the feds, bro. And they agreed, of course, in the fog of it all. Why wouldn't you agree? But then, like any good, maybe conservative family, you start going, I don't really trust these feds. Like, I'm a little suspicious about the feds.
Where are the parents speaking out, then? Wait, okay, I like how Candace Owens, like 5 minutes ago, claimed the parents have spoken out, claiming that their son is innocent. That apparently the parents are now speaking out, claiming the son is innocent, but now she's claiming the parents haven't spoken out, and is implying the media have silenced them. Like, we're double speaking in the same video already. Like, this has got to be controlled opposition, right? That's what this is. This is Candace Owens doing ops for the Trump administration to dumb down people's potential. Like, maybe there is something going on with this, and Candace Owens is, like, psyoping to cover up the real conspiracy behind Charlie Kirk's killing. Because this is so... It's not just irresponsible, it's not just wrong, it's incompetent conspiracy mongering. Like, Candace Owens is not even doing a good job of criticizing and being skeptical of the FBI. Like, she's doing such a bad job, it's making me more trusting of the FBI, and that's a problem. That's a really big problem. She is failing at her job here. Like, and if there's something actually going on here, and she's, like, doing this to try and, like, divert people's attention and cover it up, I wouldn't be surprised. Because this is borderline incompetent.
His father had no idea that Tyler was gay. That's what I'm told. They are learning this in and through the media. They thought that Lance was just his roommate, and they were especially shocked because apparently Tyler kept mentioning to them that he wanted them to meet some girl that he was seeing. Now, I would like to interject my own voice here and say...
Can we get, like, any evidence they said this besides you claiming you heard it from a source that is not public? Like, this is... Do I just need to start saying, like, I talked to a guy really close to the story behind the scenes and trust me, guys, and then just make up a bunch of shit? Like, because that's what Candace Owens is obviously doing here, bro. Holy shit. So shameless.
That I think this girl was likely Lance, and Tyler was working up the courage to tell his family that he was gay. That is what is most likely, in my opinion.
No, Candace, not gay, straight. Men dating trans women is not gay. Alright, it's not gay. Some chicks have dicks.
Because We know for a fact that Tyler was in fact in a relationship with Lance because we have exclusive photos, by the way, they're about to show you, that the two of them posted to their Instagrams. This is Lance posting Halloween era photos. I forgot to post. My boyfriend is the best. Love you. Don't worry, that handle has since been taken down of what Tyler's handle was, but he's got a handle that doesn't have his name in it, so he's maybe trying to hide.
Okay, so wait a second. So we've now had it confirmed that Tyler Robinson was dating his trans roommate. The idea that this claim wasn't true and was being made up by the FBI. These are the social media posts from the roommate calling Tyler her boyfriend. Okay, so those Discord messages are definitely real. Like, we've got social media posts from the partner posting them together and talking about them being together that predate all of this from the social media of the roommate slash partner. Like, it's very obvious. Like, this shit was already public way before those texts were made or came out or anything like that. Yeah.
This stuff. And then there's another photo of them. And this one's posted by Lance again, pics from when Tyler had a mustache. You can see that they were in a relationship. Just makes sense that he was working up the courage to maybe tell his family about that. Now, I was told also that Tyler is off the charts intelligent and always has been. We know this. He had a perfect GPA in high school. Now, that is precisely what made the idea of him being so stupid as to author a full confessional via text messages pointedly absurd. Okay.
Candace, once again, not text messages, Discord messages, and it matters. It does matter. The fundamental difference is that, like, if it were text messages, we would be looking to mobile providers to verify the validity of the messages, and they could do so publicly. If you want these messages verified, if you're actually skeptical and want to know whether or not these messages are real, reach out to Discord. Email Discord. Surf the internet for any statement made by Discord already on the validity of these screenshots, because Discord will know if they are faked. Discord has access to every private message on their platform. If you report somebody for something they say to you in private messages, they'll get banned if it's against TOS. You know why? Because Discord can see your entire private message log when you bring their attention to it. And sometimes, I bet, they search your logs even when you don't report anything. I'm sure they have mods who do that kind of thing. Regardless, though, that difference matters. It just goes to show that, like, you may consider text message and Discord message a, like, unimportant sort of nitpick, but I think it matters. I think it really does show that even on the bare fundamentals of this story, Candace Owens doesn't know it. Like, Candace Owens is just kind of, like, reading through Twitter updates, it feels like, and then bullshitting off the cuff.
Any person with a modicum of intelligence is going to go, I'm not going to put this down in writing with every detail. And apparently whoever offered those messages, likely feds, didn't have a modicum of intelligence, or they would have maybe not included every single detail there.
I thought evidence was kept filed away until after the trial. In normal circumstances, when you don't have retarded influencers running the FBI, yes. But Kash Patel wants, like, Kash Patel literally wants likes and accolades on Twitter to the point where high-ranking FBI officials have been, like, writing up reports on Kash Patel and how they are quite worried that his desire for internet fame supersedes his desire to run the FBI competently. A completely true statement coming out of his peers and co-workers. But yeah, like, it's very clear that under normal circumstances, we would have never even gotten those texts. Kash Patel put them out so he could get likes and attention on social media. He is, according to other members of the FBI who have called him out for it and are, like, showing a lot of concern about it, he is obsessed with being a social media influencer. And he is using his position in the FBI and whatever things he has access to from that position to try and force attention onto his platform.
Family says that the photo of the young man that is coming up the stairs, which was shared, that blurry image, is definitively not Tyler Robinson. And let me just say, I never thought it looked like him. Neither did you. Okay, face looks different. Face looks more narrow. Also, that person looks taller. Every time I say, I'm like, this person.
What do you mean he looks taller? Huh? Face looks more narrow? One's a side profile and one's a front forward. I can promise you, people look very different when you get a front face-forward profile compared to when you get a side profile on them. People's faces can completely change shape when you go from full front profile to side profile. Phineas and Ferb should have taught you all this lesson. Yeah, so there's that. And then for the height thing, what are we using for height relation here? Like, do you want to go off of proportions? Because we can go off of that. The head and ears look roughly the same proportions. The arms are bent in this one and are straight in this one, but they seem to come down about as far as you would expect. He's going upstairs here, so his leg is bent upwards, but still. Same shirt. His shoulders seem about equally broad. His legs don't seem any thicker in this image than in this image. His arms don't seem any thicker or thinner than this image or this image. His nose looks about the same, even if you're looking from a side profile. Like, we don't even have anything to go off of for height here. This one, we at least have a railing, and the railing can give you an idea of how tall he is, but there's nothing here.
Is taller than Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson also appears to have full lips, even though this image is blurry. We're not looking for someone that got fuller lips, and Tyler Robinson looks broader than that individual walking, right?
Dude, what do you mean he has fuller lips? He's a white guy. You can't see how full his lips are on this video, which is like 480p maybe. The last video is like 1280 or 120 or 140p. You can't see any detail here, dog. There's no detail you can actually see.
So I'm on board with that.
Well, here
person
you
walking
can, but the
upstairs
last
Tyler
video.
Robinson, because I feel like it was intentionally blurred. They also never gave us the footage at all, because in order to blur it, they probably needed a static image. Also, the family believes that, and this is really interesting.
Probably.
Tyler Robinson's apartment was staged.
Please, where does the family say this? What, the family believes what? Where are they saying this? When did the family claim this? Can we get a single source? Even one.
After his arrest. Now, you will recall that I spoke to Lance's family. And one of the things that Lance's family said was, hey, we own that apartment. They pay rent to us.
Candace is claiming she has personally spoken to the families and the individuals involved in this story. She's claiming she is getting direct sources. Mind you, this is a woman who is being sued by the president of France for a multi-year-long obsessive campaign of claiming that the president of France's wife is secretly a trans woman. Like, this woman will take a torrent of lawsuits just lying out her ass, claiming she's spoken to people personally and making up quotes from them. Like, she'll go to court over that. Like, she doesn't care if she gets sent to, like, she'll make up quotes from people and then go to court over it. Like, she doesn't care. That's part of her grift.
We've never met Tyler Robinson, but I can tell you that it seems like they were trying to hide the fact that this apartment got raided. And it's very strange that they immediately cleared Lance as a suspect. And I was told by other people in the department that they wanted to keep that raid very hush-hush. They didn't want anybody to know about the raid. There was no mention of this raid, and Lance immediately gets cleared as a suspect. Why? Well, according to Tyler's family, they went to that.
What is unusual about a planned police raid on a warrant being hush-hush until the raid takes place? Because that is not unusual at all. Like, not even a little bit. The police do not typically warn you before they come to raid your house and search it for illegal things. They don't usually call you up and go, "Hey, brother, we're, next Saturday, we're gonna be coming in, we're busting your door down, we're searching for anything illegal. Better do something about that before we get there. Just giving you a week's warning ahead of time." That's not how shit works. What do you mean it's weird that the raid was hush-hush before it happened? What? That's odd, apparently?
Apartment after his arrest, and they felt the apartment was staged, and that intentionally in Tyler's room, a furry bed was placed, almost sort of implying that they're trying to transfer the attributes of Lance onto...
A furry bed was placed? What's a furry bed? Like, I heard something about Tyler Robinson or Tyler Robinson's girlfriend being a furry. What's a furry bed, though? Is it like a bed where the fabric of the mattress is a fursuit? I guess, like fursuit material, whatever that is. I guess it'd just be, is that what that is? I don't know what a furry bed is. What is she talking about? Is she making things up now? Because I don't think that exists. Yeah, I assume it's a dog bed? Maybe a dog bed? Yeah, I guess that would be the closest thing that I know of the existence of that makes sense. Maybe but why wouldn't she just call it a dog bed? Who would call it a furry bed? It's a dog bed.
Tyler. And that's shady. But again, when I put together what I'm being told by Lance's family and what I'm hearing from the Robinson family,
she is literally claiming that she's speaking personally to the families, all families involved directly, and getting direct information from them. And that's why she can't cite any sources, because it's all from her personally speaking to everybody involved. Absolutely wild. She's definitely going to get sued for this.
Through a third party, I will say that it matches. It kind of seems like they're agreeing. One family's going, hey, Lance is kind of evil. Why is he getting cleared? The other one's going, Tyler's not this guy. Tyler is not this guy. So what the hell is going on, guys? What is actually going on right now? There's also something else that's weird that I want to mention here, and that is the unusual lengths in which the media and the sheriff's department, they've gone through all of these lengths, I would say, to protect the identity of that former sheriff friend who was the one who convinced Tyler to turn himself in. Even in that press conference, by the way, Brooke...
Don't we know his name? I'm pretty sure we know his name, right? Let's find out. Tyler Robinson, family, friend, father. I'm pretty sure... What was the name of the family friend? Salt Lake Tribune talks about the story in a way that might mention it. When she saw the photo of the person suspected of killing political commentator Charlie Kirk, Tyler James Robinson's mom told police her first thought was that it looked like her son. She immediately called him to ask where he was, according to charging documents released Tuesday. Robinson reportedly told her that he had been sick at home for the past 2 days, including the day of the shooting, where a single shot hit and killed Charlie Kirk. But Robinson's mom couldn't shake the similarities between her 22-year-old son's face and the image released by law enforcement that quickly circulated online. The charging documents state, she told police she also discussed the photo with her husband, who agreed with her. Increasingly worried, the couple repeatedly called and spoke with Robinson last week until he implied that he was the shooter, quote-unquote, the documents state. And then 33 hours after the shooting at Utah Valley University, they convinced their son to turn himself in. Or the shooting at the university. They convinced their son to turn himself in. The document from prosecutors reveals for the first time details about Robinson's surrender and the conversations that led up to it, including new information about Robinson's politics, conflicts, his alleged plans for specifically 31-year-old Kirk. Prosecutors announced Tuesday that based on the information, they intended to seek the death penalty. He's facing a lot of charges because of gun. Some of Robinson's apparent political leanings had come to light before the charges were filed, but the documents filed Tuesday indicated that for the first time that Robinson's mom felt her son over the past year had, quote, become more political and had started to lean more left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented, quote unquote. So everything we've heard from the parents, direct quotes have been, yeah, he got super like left-wing and pro-trans in the last couple years. Robinson is registered to vote, but had not declared a party affiliation, according to state voter records. Both his parents are registered Republicans. I've genuinely heard people claim he couldn't be a leftist because he wasn't registered as a Democrat. Think about that one for a moment. His mom told police that Robinson had begun to date his roommate, who is transgender. Quote, this resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views, the charging document states. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson allegedly mentioned that Kirk was holding an event at UVU in Orem and called it a stupid venue. Robinson also allegedly accused Kirk of spreading hate. During a 2023 speech, Kirk had called the transgender thing, quote-unquote, a throbbing middle finger to God. His organization, Turning Point USA, also sponsored rallies against transgender medical care. In a text to his roommate after the shooting, Robinson allegedly wrote, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Robinson also told them that since Trump got into office, quote, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA, referring to the slogan of U.S. President Donald Trump. Robinson's dad told police that when he heard about the rifle that law enforcement say the suspected shooter used to kill Kirk, a Mauser Model 98, .30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle with a mounted scope. It stood out to him as matching the one he had gifted his son from from Robinson's grandfather. Following his wife's call about the photo, Robinson's father called his son about the gun and asked him to send a picture of it. The charging documents state Robinson did not respond. Ooh, the dad was like, send me a picture of the gun. Because if he couldn't, where's the gun? The gun's not on him, you know, and the police found the gun used in the shooting. So the dad was like saying pics or you did it. The father and son later talked on the phone, though, and Robinson implied that he planned to die by suicide. Alarmed, his parents convinced him to come to their southern Utah home in Washington City, where they had lived for years and where Robinson grew up. Robinson reportedly drove more than 260 miles south to speak with his parents. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it, the charging document states. When they asked him why he had allegedly done it, Robinson said Kirk was spreading too much hate. The parents told police they asked their son to speak to a family friend who was a retired deputy sheriff. That family friend came over to the house and talked to Robinson. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Fox and Friends that the family friend was also a minister, though Trump did not specify the faith. Robinson's mom and dad told police that the family friend convinced Robinson to turn himself in. He also told Robinson, quote, that it would be best if he brought all evidence with him to the sheriff's office to avoid police having to search his parents' home. The friend and Robinson's parents accompanied Robinson to the Washington County Sheriff's Office on the night of September 11th, when he ultimately surrendered. Before doing so, Robinson allegedly messaged his roommate to say, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. So what it seems like is, because there was a whole 48-hour period, like, the dad was messaging the son for like 12 straight hours saying, like, did you do it? Seriously, did you do it? Send me a picture of the gun. They found the shooters. I want to see. It looks just like the one I gifted you. Show me a picture of the gun. And after it's become clear that they know, Tyler seemed to have, like, basically had a breakdown, driven 200 plus miles to his parents' house, like, had his mental breakdown where he seemed to indicate he was suicidal, calmed down a bit, speaks to a family friend who's a sheriff, said sheriff recommends exactly how he should turn himself in. He doesn't actually want to die, but he obviously has a mental breakdown when he realizes it's all closing in around him. Very standard reaction. Goes to be with his parents. 22-year-olds tend to do that when shit starts to go crazy. They want to be near their parents. And then, sure enough, he ends up getting sent into the police, and while he may not have been suicidal at the time, when he turned himself in, he was definitely suicidal for a bit there. So I guess that is what Candace Owens is referring to as, like, a switch-up in the narrative, that first he wasn't suicidal and now he is, or first he was and now he isn't. I guess I can see how people might see it that way, but it just seems more likely that a 22-year-old who just ruined their own life might just be having, like, sporadic breakdowns where they think they want to die for hours at a time. Inconceivable. Inconceivable! True. True. Yeah, Candace Owens fucking sucks, bro. She fucking sucks! Anyway, with all that said, if you enjoyed this lovely, lovely segment, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. It really does help a lot. And with that said, if you want to support the stream directly financially, you can always donate, subscribe, or gift a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below. And of course, if you want to buy some, merchandise, that's also an option. The merch is pretty cheap, and it's really just there for you guys if you want to rock some Xander Hall merchandise. So see if you want to grab some. I always like to see you guys rocking some official Xanderholic merch. It's always a good time. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching, and have a good one.